So how was it playing a villain? Well, I was excited by playing a villain because I think to be a good actress, you have to have a lot of empathy. And I don't really like villains when they're just like straight up nasty, because I just think it's a bit one-dimensional, and I don't think that's very realistic. I think that I have a lot of similar feelings to the character that I played. I just don't necessarily respond to them in the same way. I just don't stab people to death because of my feelings.
So we don't see so many women that are the bad guys on the story. So how you define what is the most exciting part about being the bad guy?
I think what's brilliant about the DC universe and the history of the films that have come before, and we have treated this like a film, it's not really a TV show. It's just a really long film. I think that, what's interesting about them is that really they delve into subjects and themes that affect all of us. It's all about the human condition and about psychology and of misplaced feeling in the universe almost. And I think as a female character particularly, what was important to me was, number one, I didn't want to be the main thing that people feared about me to be their desire, because I think that women have a lot more going for them than sex. I mean, we're great at that as well, but it's not our only thing. And I think that I had a sort of very clear interpretation of Bruno Heller's writing. I sort of felt like I knew this person, like I had references. I don't have my own accent in it. I have an accent from the north of England. It's different. And I sort of had it just in my mind that I wanted to play with what makes us the same as human beings and not sort of emphasise a gender divide. I think her motivations, there's often parallels between her motivation and Alfred Pennyworth's motivation, even though that he's considered the good guy and she's considered a bad person. And I wanted to play with that idea that sometimes they were confused. Like, how did we both end up fighting for the same thing when we're supposed to not agree? And I think socio-politically that's important. When we deal with subjects of class, race, gender divide, that's what's often, when people get confused when they have extreme opposing ideas, and then they're like, hang on, the inherent thing underneath it all is we're all human beings and we have the same desires and we have, the same need for human connection. And I feel like that's what I wanted to put into this villain. She's deep.
Unlike your male counterparts who are all based on a character in the DC comic book, yours is a brand new character. Yeah. How did that feel for you, and what inspired you when creating this original character?
I feel like that I've sort of just answered that. Like the emphasis was about me saying, okay, my stamp on this universe needs to be a female villain character that is profoundly deep, has layers, and is taken seriously, not just as like a piece of art, for want of a better word.
So in the show, she's kind of working for someone, but kind of a little bit more about like her background, like how did she end up in this position? Is it something that she enjoys, or?
She's a working class woman. She has a sister, and she's a little bit of a liability. She's like me. She's got a bit of a short attention span, and she feels frustrated by the norm and the everyday, and she's sort of found a place to put her talents into working for an extreme far-right political group, which is kind of part of a weird sort of underbelly of civil war that's happening in London. So I think it's kind of very reflective of the current political climate in Britain and America, that there is kind of like this weird 50-50 thing of like good and evil, and everyone's butting heads with Trump, Brexit, all of that is happening in the show but kind of replicated.
Is she one of those kind of people that kind of thrives on chaos? That's where she lives? Or?
I think she's addicted to it, and she doesn't really know very well how to get the human connections that she wants. She knows how to deal with chaos, and she knows how to deal with violence, and she's also very aware of her own powers.